Mrs. Mayor, Director of INCIBE, authorities, civilians, militaries, friends, good afternoon to all of you. I would like to dedicate my first words to congratulate INCIBE for this international meeting on cybersecurity. It's a meeting that has already 13 different editions, and we have actually won all of the records. Congratulations once again. I said this last year, and I'm going to repeat this once again from here. I'd like to thank INCIBE and thank to these initiatives. León is the Spanish capital on cybersecurity. And I'm sure they have a bright future ahead of them. And thank you also to the mayor for his important role on cybersecurity. I'd like to extend a warm welcome to the speakers and to the attendees of ENISE during those 2 days, because you are the type of professionals that this country needs. Because the Spain of the future cannot be competitive and will not be a hospital place if we do not have a good cybersecurity level. And this will be thanks to your work and to the Spanish economy. And this way we will be able to compete in the digital era. You are doing a great job, even if this is not always visible, because when cybersecurity works, is invisible. And as long as we do not hear any of the organisms that are present here today, that means that you're protecting us on the internet. This will mean that you will have identified and blocked the continuous attacks that are launched against companies, citizens, and governments. Unfortunately, the security risks are an inherent characteristic of the technological development. Attacks are more and more sophisticated. Cyber attackers are more and more agile, and we access information from more and more devices. And therefore, we live in a more complex world, and this is why we must be better than them. We can fight them, and we will fight them with your talent, with usage of avant-garde tools, and with more training and raising awareness campaigns. We will also fight them from politics. And we will give cybersecurity the importance it deserves. And only this way will we organize a coordinated action that will be enough reach. I'd like to mention two things. The main public initiatives that boost cybersecurity in Spain, and also how the engagement is in a bigger framework, which is a mission about how to tackle the challenges of digitalization. It is a vision about the type of governance of digitalization that Spain needs to ensure the well-being of its citizens.
I'll start by the first point. One of the main and most recent public measures for cybersecurity is the implementation into our Spanish regulation of the ENISE directive. The ENISE directive is important because it allows for remarkable progress in the collaboration between national and European institutions, thus facilitating action in an evidently and obviously cross-cutting and cross-border issue. The ENISE directive also contributes to the fundamental job of your organizations. And lastly, this directive supports the public entities that help ensure security. One of them is INCIBE, And so the ENISE directive is a fundamental norm for cybersecurity. It was transposed in Spain last year, and it's currently under drafting in the Parliament. Protecting online users was the focus of the new national cybersecurity strategy. With this new version, this new issue of the strategy, cybersecurity is acknowledged as a cross-cutting issue affecting the entire economy and society for the first time. And as a consequence, all public and social and economical players will have to participate of cybersecurity. The national cybersecurity strategy states that it is not only of technical but also of strategic relevance for Spain. The government is currently working on creating a national cybersecurity forum with the participation of agents from the private market, with the presence of companies, but also people from the civil society, academia, NGOs, and some independent experts. Now, we find ourselves in the process of defining a new cybersecurity framework for telecommunications networks. The timing couldn't be better. We are at the edge of the 5G, of the proliferation of 5G and the definitive takeoff of the Internet of Things. According to forecasts, before the 31st of September this year, the European Union will grant a toolkit to each of the member states, which will support security of our telecommunications systems and networks. As I said at the beginning, all cybersecurity political measures are framed within a bigger picture of the kind of digitalization government that Spain needs. Because digitalization has an impact on all fields and spheres of our lives: education, consumption of products and services, health, privacy, our capacity to participate in public debates. Digitalization, as long as accessible and affordable, will increase equality. Digitalization provides a promise for a better world, a world that's more equal, just, and prepared. But it's not sufficient to just wish for this new world. We need to position ourselves and we need to act. And therefore, governments cannot just sit back and witness digital transformation. We need public policies within this ecosystem to provide the necessary governance framework for innovation. We also need to act in reducing social inequality and social gaps. And of course, we also need public policies to foster collaboration in the light of cybersecurity threats. All in all, we need to govern digitalization, and to do so, we need to have a very clear goal in mind: the digital well-being of people. With that governance of digitalization, cybersecurity plays a key role. Digitalization will be secure or it will not take place at all. And in order to achieve that, we need for the foundations of cybersecurity to be even more solid by holding events such as ENISE, and also through your daily work. You are making a great contribution to this. I have to mention one of the social gaps that's really a very important issue in our society: the gender gap. We have to talk about it. We have to talk about this because it's harming our society in a way we cannot even imagine. We are aware that there are very few women being trained in technical careers, and we'll do everything it takes to solve this and to change this. However, figures show that the number of women that work in the industry and technical industries, and more specifically in cybersecurity, is even lower than the number of female students in these careers. We need gender equality. We need to face cyber criminals, and to do so, we have to include all viewpoints possible, all ways of understanding the world. And this is why I want to send a message for all women in this room. Do not let other people tell you that cybersecurity, math, or science is something that only men can do. Cybersecurity is not sitting in front of a computer. Cybersecurity is changing and protecting the world. Please do become an example, a role model for girls all over our country and the world. Diversity in a company is tremendously enriching. It's enriching for us as individuals, and those who don't have very open minds should know that diversity provides better financial results. As I was saying, in order to become a freer and more equal country, we need cybersecurity. Spain cannot be competitive or do well if we don't have a secure digital environment. Not only objectively secure, but this environment must feel secure too. We need for people and companies to trust in cybersecurity, and that trust requires a lot of work. Of course, technology is a complex world, is a sort of unexplored world, and unknown things are scary. 150 years ago, people were afraid of getting on a lift. Alicia Grace Comis had created a security mechanism which made it very difficult, if not impossible, for lifts to collapse into a vacuum. But people were still afraid, so Mr. Otis decided to make a demonstration. He would get on a lift, he will let it drop, and then this security mechanism would act. And it did. And thanks to that demonstration, back in 1854 at the Universal Exhibition in New York, we all use lifts with no fear at all today. And that's why New York and many other cities in the world started to build skyscrapers. In 1854, just a few minutes of that demonstration changed the world forever. And it was about the trust of the people witnessing it. This is a lesson we can extrapolate to cybersecurity. We need a complete response from the entire industry against the fear against cyberbullying, cyber espionage, fake news, etc. And so it doesn't stop us from moving forward. We need societies to be aware of the work you carry out. Things like ENISE are fundamental to obtain that recognition. Digitalization can provide the greatest progress ever known. Let us not be afraid of new things. And in order to do that, we need security, the security you provide. And this time, it would not be a single man at a universal exhibition. It will be an entire industry, your industry, that will bring security to the very top. Thanks again to INCIBE for inviting me. Thanks for holding this event and for their great contribution to security and to progress. And I encourage all of you to be part of this commitment to make Spain a digital leader. Thank you very much.